Today's a pretty special day. Not only is it episode 15 of season 4 of TNG, but episode-wise, we are exactly halfway through The Next Generation. Isn't that wild?
That is insane. I remember it took the longest time to even start this show, and now we're halfway through it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't go as quick of a pace. Oh, I know that's funny, describing what we do as a quick pace, but for real, I mean, we didn't go as quickly going through TOS. And I remember it was basically a year ago, almost exactly, that we were starting the show and just was so excited. And there's been some ups, there's been some downs, and there's overall love the show. But to think of it that we've watched more of this than we have TOS, already, and there's still half of it to go. That makes me feel pretty good. But I don't know. How do you think we'll feel when we're on that outside looking back in when we finish the second half?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm probably not even going to be here, so.
What do you mean? Oh! I always love when it's not a shot of the Enterprise, when it cuts right in.
Mm-hmm.
Careful, he may sustain cranial damage.
Move him to the diagnostic pad.
Right.
Slowly.
Got it. Here we go.
Who's that? Is that Riker?
All right, careful.
Well, that's definitely his beard. How did you pull that? You just stuff from that hair?
I'm a big fan of Jonathan Frakes' appearance.
I thought it was a Klingon from like the outline of his head.
What do you mean? I'm reading a steady circulation.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
He's missing 3 costal struts on one side and 4 on the other.
Because he's a human.
Look at this. Digits in his terminus.
Undercover?
What are you?
Ooh.
Riker playing dress up finally got his ass kicked. You knew it was going to happen eventually. That might be the quickest hook we've had in this show.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah, that was quick, yeah. Because no log either to get through. Like, it was just like...
Yeah. Here it is.
And I love that. I love hooks that, like, almost like classic TOS too, is like when the hook is like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Like, I like the ones where it clearly sets it up too, where it's like, oh, this is going to be the problem, but I feel like I like it more when it's like this, just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I have no idea what the problem even is. Why is he dressed up? Who are these people? Is he undercover? I love it. Well, hello. We just want to give a quick little shout out to
Make sure to bring up the sale, the Patreon sale.
Yeah, well, just give me a second. We just want to give a quick little shout out to our annual target demographic tier patrons. And here, we have a few of them.
Wait, what about the sale? Tell them about the sale.
Josh, I'm going to get to the sale. Just
okay.
Let me read these people
all right.
paid us to.
Go ahead.
We have Setchin, NPC, Adam from Germany, Fat Produce, Jacob Connolly, and finally, Matt Newmark. There's an 80% off sale. Okay, I said it, Josh. Good Lord.
Ends November 1st.
First Contact, okay.
Oh, that's the name of a movie.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yes, I know the movie names.
Not the biggest deal.
You're in the crisis room of the Sikla Medical Facility.
Michael Ensign?
Does he play an ensign?
I was caught in the riots when the police moved in. It's the last thing I remember.
Can you tell us your name?
Oh, was that a police riot?
I can't stay here. I have to
You're
get
in
back.
no condition to leave. Yeah.
Oh my God!
That's a record.
There are several unusual things about your case. Your cranial lobes, for instance, they seem to be surgical implants.
My personal physician is much more familiar with these genetic irregularities. To be honest, I would feel much better back home under her care.
Why don't I talk to her about that? What's her name?
Crusher. Was there anything else found? I had one piece of jewelry, a metal pin.
No, I'm sorry. This was all we found.
Took the communicator, huh?
I love getting thrown into the middle of the mission.
Isn't it great?
What if there's more of them? They could be everywhere.
Cordon off the wing. I want security on his door 29 hours a day, and I want this kept quiet.
So you think this... They've never even seen a human before. So do you think this is like a pre-Prime Directive type species where there's not a lot of space travel? But, I mean, they're aware of the space flights. Like, I don't know if it's from or to their planet.
Apparently, warp
12.4
is what
after
determines.
launch. The warp fuel generator
So-
will be activated.
There you go.
If
If we're successful, the craft will leave our star system, and in a matter of minutes, will be on its way to the Garth
So they're on the
system.
precipice?
I was about to say, they're right on the cusp.
The people were willing to accept your social reforms because they believe in you, Chancellor. But there are many who say we have gone far enough.
I will not allow them to remain in the Dark Ages. The warp program will proceed as you have outlined, Marasta.
Yeah. How interesting.
Marasta Yale.
Yes.
This is our show.
Don't be alarmed at our appearance.
My name is Jean-Luc Picard. This is my associate, Deanna Troy.
I heard you literally learned how to warp a second ago.
We come from a federation of planets. Captain Picard is from a planet called Earth, which is over 2,000 light years from here.
Wow.
We've been monitoring your progress toward warp drive capability. When a society reaches your level of technology, and is clearly about to initiate warp travel, we feel the time is right for first contact.
Scientists generally accept our arrival more easily than others.
We almost always encounter shock and fear on this sort of mission.
How much of this do you think is like a memorized script that Picard and Troy say every time?
The others from the lab put you up to this.
Seems
It's
pretty...
certainly no joke. As you can see, we are physically quite different from Malcorians.
Malcorians.
With your permission, I'm prepared to prove it to you.
Why is your dick out?
I was gonna say, here is and she was looking down. Oh, she's...
I would like that.
Whoa! Whoa!
Regard to Enterprise. 3 to beam up.
Malcorians are freaky.
beam me directly to my quarters.
All three of us.
Oh my
No,
God.
I love this concept, though.
Look at that guy.
He's a Bolian. As the episode is directed by Cliff Bowl.
I knew I liked you, Josh, catching things like that.
Bolian going up to Cliff Bowl. So nice to meet you, sir. Get the fuck out of here.
One of the things we monitor are your broadcast signals, your journalism, music, your humor. Try to understand you better as a people.
I hate to think how you would judge us based on our popular music and entertainment.
Indeed. There is a difficulty here, one that has forced us to accelerate this entire process. One of our people is missing. He disappeared. My people have made inquiries, but they've not been able to locate him.
How'd he end up in a riot? Unless that was just an alibi.
Our ideology is based on the assumption that the Melkorian is a supreme life form. And our world is the center of the universe.
Typical. Like humans in a lot of way.
If you tell the Chancellor about Commander Riker, you will undermine everything that you hope to accomplish here.
It doesn't make sense that he's the only one. Think about it.
He's still just talking about it.
I thought I said this was to be kept a secret.
You know Nilram.
Well, it's getting out of control. I don't know what else he is.
Nilram is Merlin spelled backwards. I don't know if that means anything.
Oh.
No physician named Crusher is on file, not on this planet. Your address in Marta's an eating establishment. The cook has never heard of Rivas Jakar. People see unidentified vessels in the sky. They turn out to be weather balloons.
Well, it's far more likely that I am a weather balloon than an alien.
You, Mr. Jakara, are hiding something. And unless you tell me the truth about yourself, this rumor will persist and could even become dangerous.
I like the score a lot so far. Very subtle.
Yeah, very ominous.
Minister Yale of the Space Bureau would like to introduce you to someone. They're out here waiting to see you, sir.
All right, send them in.
Chancellor, I think you might want to clear your afternoon schedule for this.
And that was the one that wanted to do the progress.
Yeah.
Right? So he should be cool.
And he is. All right.
Here we have environment and engineering stations, mission operations, and the 2 principal science stations. I've been saving this for a special occasion.
Oh, wow.
My brother produces a fruit known as grapes,
Robert!
which he turns into wine. Chancellor, to instantly transform a society with technology would be harmful, and it would be destructive.
I will have to say this morning, I was the leader of the universe as I know it. This afternoon, I'm only a voice in a chorus, but I think it was a good day.
Fire.
Which one of the 12 writers was that? Oh yeah, he's back up. I feel like even if they came across the planet and they said like, okay, well, we don't want any part of this, leave this alone, I feel like they would have some type of responsibility to be like, okay, well, that's fine, but listen, like, there's other things out there and they're gonna come not be friendly, so just be prepared for that.
Yeah, you think they'd warn them? Like, hey, there's
or give them a book or something?
Yeah. Klingons are cool now, but there's Romulans, there's Cardassians, there's
Q, the Borg,
the Sheliak, the
Can you help me get out of
big
here?
dumb ones. What are they called?
Are you really an
Oh,
alien?
Sacklid, yeah.
It's all right to tell me.
Oh, well, you said it's all right, so.
I don't believe you. You are an alien.
I really have to leave.
You got me.
I don't belong here. I have to get back on my ship. In space.
God, that grin is more terrifying with that.
Now, will you help me?
If you make love to me.
Bro doesn't even have to try.
I really have to get going. All the other aliens are waiting for me.
Oh, it's not so much to ask.
It's not so much to ask.
It's not that easy. There are differences
Yeah.
in the way that my people make love.
Yeah, how do they?
I can't wait to learn.
But it's
your only way out of here, my alien.
Did he do it?
Oh, please. It cuts to a scene of them walking out and buttoning their clothes.
Yeah,
basically.
He did it. He did it.
Something's happened to him.
Wow.
I think he's dead. Go on, get some help.
Oh, no. You don't think in 2 seasons.
He has a kid with her? Nah, I feel like he, I don't know what they do in the future for contraception, but I think he has it on lock.
Oh, you know, Riker got snipped years ago.
Will I ever see you again?
I'll call you the next time I pass through your star system.
Yeah, you're getting ghosted.
Yeah, you're gonna be left on a red for a while there.
But I feel like in the future it'd even be advanced enough to where, like, the default would be off for reproducing, and then, like, you do something to turn it on.
Whoa! That guy swung like, you better fucking duck.
Yeah, Frakes was like, it's at work, brother.
Slow down.
All of you, stop it now! Have you all lost your minds?
Oh my god.
Oh, they've aggravated the injury to his renal organ. He's bleeding internally.
Get him into a surgical cubicle and call Central Security.
They can't do surgery on him. They were like, oh, this is missing. This is missing. They're gonna screw him up.
Literally doing surgery on an alien.
Yeah.
Even though it's not confirmed to them that he's an alien yet, except for the woman he had sex with.
But they know his physiology is all wrong to theirs.
Their leader, Picard, has made it clear how we proceed is entirely our own decision.
Cannot possibly be suggesting surrender, Chancellor.
It's not surrender, dumbass.
We have captured one of their spies.
Chancellor, he is Captain Picard's first officer, Commander Riker.
No, they didn't even tell the Chancellor about it.
Yeah, they don't want to.
They have been on our planet, observing for several years.
Years. Imagine what they have done. Influenced our young, stirred up dissent.
They were collecting information.
Where is this Commander Riker now?
Well, we all beat the shit out of him.
He's recovering from surgery. He suffered head injuries in an escape attempt. He will recover consciousness in a few hours.
Good lighting there on Marasta.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just a physician, Minister. I don't know much about affairs of state. But he is a living, intelligent being. I don't care if the Chancellor himself calls down here. I have sworn an oath to do no harm, and I will not.
Then I'll find someone to replace you.
I don't work for you. I work for a private funded hospital.
Oh, they have capitalism even on their planet, huh? Damn.
I mean, from what they described, it sounds exactly like Earth.
Yeah.
There is no starship mission more dangerous than that of First Contact. Centuries ago, disastrous contact with the Klingon Empire led to decades of war, and it was decided then we would do surveillance before making contact.
That's a little lore drop there.
I hope that we would have found Commander Riker before you did, so that this matter would not complicate our introduction. It was a mistake.
A mistake I might have made in your place. I rather like it, actually.
Like it.
That you make mistakes, like any man.
Good point.
Now, I must ask you, will you release my officer?
We'll talk again later, Captain.
Enterprise,
one to beam up.
He's definitely made some mistakes, especially in his staffing. I mean, there was like this one doctor. I mean, he made an annoying child, an ensign. I mean, he's not he doesn't always do the right thing.
Throughout all of our years of friendship, since we've known each other, there's always been one show that we consistently reference. You've probably seen us do this 100 times, and you might be wondering, what are they doing? Well, if you're a Star Trek fan, you might know, because the TV show we're talking about today is Beyond Belief, hosted by Jonathan Frakes.
I have been relieved of
Overall,
my duties,
though,
as I'm
pretty
sure
good.
you already know. You are acting director of the facility, Neil Rim.
Oh, no.
Revive him.
Kill him.
Oh, God. Yeah, I picked the guy with the most smarmy face for that character. Perfect.
Krola has ordered drugs to be used to revive him for questioning. Drugs that in his condition would be dangerous for him. Without medical aid from his ship, I believe that Riker will not survive the day.
Oof.
Why do peaceful people develop such lethal weapons? It's just a toy.
I feel like I could have done a lot worse than that.
Is only used for defense.
For however you would describe your intentions, you still represent the end to my way of life. I cannot permit that to occur. Eventually, Durkin would choose to welcome your people with arms open and eyes closed.
Oh, he's going to frame him.
When they find us, I will be dead, killed by your weapon. A peaceful accord will no longer be an option.
He's willing to die for this? Jesus Christ.
I know, I was going to say.
My people.
Oh, great shot, Cliff.
That was fantastic.
It's like, at least he wasn't just a bullshitter, you know? He was bought in. You got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
He shot him. The alien shot Krola.
Oh, no.
But I'm hoping that because he doesn't know how the phaser works, it's like was set to stun.
Doctors of a Droman, high-frequency EM charge unit now.
I have a circulation pattern. It's very weak.
Nah, maybe not.
We have to get him on vital buffers right now.
Woo!
I'm a physician, don't be frightened.
How about this guy?
He shot him.
With that thing.
Crusher to Picard.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Worf. I'll take that.
I'll take that.
There's still some brain activity. I need to get him back to the ship. And there's a Marconian male with a phaser wound in his upper chest. I need to get him back as well.
I hope there's like a reveal, like, oh, let's check the security cameras. Oh, look, everything was recorded. I mean, they're about to make warp. You'd think they'd have security. I don't know.
I know. Just like what I said before about the communicator recording everything, but also he doesn't have his communicator.
He doesn't have it on,
so.
yeah. Damn it. Wanted to get you, show.
I mean, your point still stands.
They're both going to be okay.
But there aren't cameras in hospital
He was
rooms,
never
are
in
there?
any real danger.
In real life.
Fair.
The phaser was on stun.
But it's an alien planet.
Stun.
Yeah, it was on stun! And it still took him out.
It suggests that Krola's left hand was on the phaser when it went off.
They were struggling for the weapon.
Literally, like, unconscious.
Krola was trying to be a martyr.
Thank God. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
My people are not ready to accept what you represent. Everything that happened in the hospital proves
At least he's blaming his own people.
When we encounter other beings in space, our people must be ready.
the warp program will have to be delayed.
Oh, man.
Divert more resources to education and social development.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Captain Picard, I have one last request. Take me with you.
She said, I know you did it in Star Trek 4.
I have been prepared for the realities of space travel since I was 9 years old and sitting in a planetarium.
Mr. Worf, to my ready room.
And her reflection of just her sitting in space, like she was talking about earlier.
Cliff Bull!
Assign quarters to Minister Yale. She will be remaining on board.
Oh, wow.
Aye, sir.
I think Worf's pissed about that.
With luck, we'll both be around to renew our friendship, Captain.
You think think Minister Yale is here to stay on the show.
Honestly, with this show, if she's in the next episode, I would not be surprised.
Damn it, show. Damn it.
All right. I'll get it. I'll get it.
This is one of the tough ones for me. This is one of the tough ones
Oh,
for sure.
really? Okay.
For me, when it came to this episode, First Contact was the name. I was between two grades there at the end. Most of the episode I was on one grade pretty much, but that ending, I was weighing it, but overall, A took over. It was between A and B, though. I was thinking B most of the time.
You were a little...
But A took it over with that ending.
This might look a little crude, but...
The A creeped into your mind for a minute or two.
Yeah.
So you had an S and I had an A. Let's talk about it.
Stranded on an alien planet,
We have captured one of their spies.
a case of mistaken identity endangers Riker's life.
I have to get back on my ship.
And survival lies in the hands of the enemy.
Stop him! He's escaping!
Will you release my officer?
We're not giving him back.
I believe that Riker will not survive the day.
Starfleet Crisis on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Malcorians, Malcor 3. Malcorians on Malcor 3. Malcorians, Malcor 3. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so First Contact. This one starts off right away with Riker. What's the planet called?
So I think we should just jump right in. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Jump right in like this episode jumped right in. That's all I wanted to say. You can say what you were going to say.
Yeah, it did jump right in. And I love when an episode jumps right in. Anytime, though, I always give this caveat. Anytime I say, oh, I love when it does this, that is true, but that doesn't, automatically mean that's good, and when they don't do it, it's bad. Like, there are plenty of ones that start with a shot of the Enterprise that are still a good opening, and vice versa. But it's something different. It's like, it starts off, and at this point, we're reaching 200, Star Trek videos, Star Trek reactions, and it's like, at this point, it's like, oh, anything that's just different throws me off. And that's what this episode did a lot. It was a very different type of episode. I think mostly in good ways. There are a few things I'll talk about I didn't care for in that way. But yeah, really loved this one a lot. You did even more than me, it seems.
Yeah, I almost love everything about this episode. It was great. I love the whole perspective of First Contact. You think it'd be mainly from the Enterprise's POV, but no, it's from this other species POV. It makes me think about, like, oh, what if that did happen to us? Like, oh, we're about to reach warp, and then all of a sudden, there's two alien beings coming down, and it's like, and then a medical team finds out a spy. Like, I'm picturing everything from like our point of view and how crazy that'd be, and how crazy it must be for this species. Because to the point, a lot of comparisons to Earth, because we thought the Earth was the center of the universe. Especially at the end with this speech, where it's like, oh, leaks will get out. They'll talk about it for years, but they'll still just watch, the fictitious, broadcasts, like talking about the news. It's like,
yeah,
damn, taking shots.
Yeah, and you obviously have the parallels of Roswell, Area 51,
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
the different things that have happened on Earth. I mean, there's literally countless alien, both conspiracy theories, like direct government conspiracies, and also just like alien lore and myths and stories about human encounters and all. Just countless documentaries. If you go to Amazon Prime, you can just search through all the endless documentaries. And I'm totally into alien stuff. I mean, I've been, not to Area 51, but to, down Route 66 and in Nevada and that area. And, the whole desert type area, like, it makes sense if something sneaky was going to be going on by the government to choose that part of the country. This basically was as close as we could get to, what would it be like if Star Trek type, the Enterprise and Starfleet came to Earth for first contact with humans, except they can't do that. So instead it's these Malcorians, but they're basically humans.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a difference here and there, but like we don't get shown anything that's extremely different other than their physical appearance. So it's basically that story being told through Star Trek, which I thought was very clever.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I guess we'll go bit by bit here. I guess we'll talk about just Cliff Bull, just killing it as always. And also just subverting expectations. We got the biggest wall of writers, teleplay, story by probably that I've seen in Star Trek. And immediately it was like, for a second, then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Star Trek's been flipping this on its head recently. There have been some good episodes. Don't ask me to name one. But there were. You do see that wall, and you're like, oh no. Then the episode actually turns out to be pretty well. I feel like everything we say gets like flipped around. Like either like what we say that we predict comes true, or they prove us wrong. Like, oh yeah, we'll never see Keiko, or this whole relationship with the chief ever again next episode. You know, talking about it. It's like if Miranda, Marasta,
and it's Carolyn Seymour.
I wouldn't be surprised if she just shows up in the next episode. Like, oh, we're in the process of visiting the Gamma 7 system, and we're about to drop off Marasta. Goodbye. And then she's gone. But I know.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if she never shows up again, but like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if now she's just here, or if she just pops up occasionally. Everything's on the table with this show at this point. You give it an S, which I did not. I give it an A, but what would you say was your favorite thing about the episode? What really put it over that edge for you into one of your favorites?
Riker getting it on with the alien. It's like they had to throw that in there for us. That's hilarious. No, there was nothing in here that I blaringly hated or wanted to change. I think everything was executed as well as it can be, and I love the idea from the perspective of people on this planet, and like the chancellor, like everything was saying, I'm like, that makes sense. This conversation between him and Picard on the ship is fantastic. I love it. Fight scene was great.
Riker getting his ass kicked.
The whole lore about like, oh, we tried to do this without surveillance, and we ended up in a war with the Klingons for years. So it's like, and the way he said it, it's like the consequent, the solutions far outweigh the problems of
it solved more problems than it created.
Yeah, like that. And like, God, that's great. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because when I think about aliens, people ask me, what do I think about them existing, or them coming here? I always think, first of all, mathematically, I think they have to exist if you accept, what we know about the universe. But as far as coming here, I've always thought like, oh, well, if aliens are going to come here, because we know they're not close, right? We know like they're far, far away if they exist. So like if they were to come here, their technology must just be so incredibly advanced that it just they wouldn't even be like the same type of being as us. But this type of episode puts it in perspective. We're like, oh, what if they are just also kind of similar, humanoid type creatures that evolved in a similar way, but literally the difference is just warp. Like, it's just warp drive, being able to go faster than the speed of light. Like, what if that is the thing that triggers, advanced civilization? And this, I think, is, like, my favorite Prime Directive related episode.
I was going to bring that up. Is this the best Prime Directive episode?
Yeah, because, I mean, I really loved how, in the past, I've just been like, oh, I guess it's whether or not they have warp. Like, why? That's just so arbitrary. But this episode made it make sense to me. Like, oh, no. As soon as you have warp drive or warp speed or whatever you want to call it, like what they were talking about at the beginning of this episode on Melkor 3, once you have that, your civilization is going to change. So, like, what if there's a species out there that could warp here and they're really not that much more advanced than us? They are, but, like, we're in the same league as them. They could be here on Earth and we don't know, in a Riker type situation. And it just like it was a mind-blowing thing. So that's my favorite part of the episode. It's just like the perception of that and then how they executed it on screen.
Yeah, and it really brings up those things like things like DB Cooper or all these like mysterious people or figures that have been documented or caught on tape and just disappear. I don't know, you see some people and they look pretty weird and they're like, oh, I wonder if that's I wonder if that's alien. Just joking. But yeah, and even like something like I think like, okay, they just figure out how to do warp and like Picard comes down immediately with Troy. Like they didn't even do it yet. They just figured it out. But the reason they came down is because they're right on the cusp, but also Riker's missing for a couple days. So that's why they came down that early. I'm like, I feel like this maybe credit to the wall of people in the writer's room, but like it did very well to not leave out any like, what about this or what about that? Because I guess one gripe, oh, there's no security footage in when Riker shot that asshole. And it's like, oh, are there security cameras in hospital beds here? And like, also, this is a completely different alien civilization, you know. They still think they're the center of the universe, but they're about to achieve warp. Like, they wouldn't have like mapped out like star systems near them. Like, I don't know. It's a different world, but it's very similar to Earth. But
Yeah, I think that the wall of writers, I mean, this was a next level. I've seen comments talking about a lot of that has to do with like union rules and like, you know, having to credit people, but you can also only credit a certain amount of people. The only thing that confuses me about that is like, okay, but then why are there episodes where it's just one writer? Like, in that case, does literally no one else, it goes through no one else's hands? Like, I can't imagine any episode at this point not going through like Ronald Moore's hands or, you know, like Jerry Taylor, you know, so I feel like, why, like, union-wise, what are the rules of, oh, well, you did this amount of work, you have to be credited? I don't know how that all works, but it is interesting to me.
yeah, did it change later on? Because like earlier episodes, there'd be one writer, but wouldn't there also be like someone would say, oh, also so and so helped on this too?
Yeah.
But only that one person would be credited.
Yeah, and then there's like supervising producer, you know, so it's like, yeah, I don't know how that all works, and I don't find it that interesting. It's mostly probably just legalities and paperwork, but yeah, when you see a wall of writers versus written by one person, like, there's something different that happened in that process. I want to know what it is.
I would love to sit in the writing rooms. Like, I would love to just, you know, fly in the wall if I had a time travel token, just sit in on these writers' rooms. This just like a big boardroom, just people, just a bunch of cigarettes, ashtrays, just. I guess we could. What if? Oh, remember JFK? Remember the alien thing? Yeah. What if we did that? Like my assumption is they're all smoking weed.
That's what you would do
and
with
cigarettes.
your one time travel token? Because obviously what I would do is...
Oh, that's right. I would change a lot of things. Go on.
I would go back to September 2001 and invest in Bitcoin. But I mean... what else would I do at that time?
Gotta give it up for Cliff Bowl. The bottom of the ninth pitcher, Cliff Bowl, coming in and just knocking the story out of the park. Probably my favorite shot is the shot of Riker's arm and the phaser shooting the guy. Just shots you don't even think of, like who thought of that? But Cliff Bowles like, oh, what if we shot it like this? Or the fight scene, how like he instructed that guy, hey, swing that thing as hard as you fucking can, and like if like Jonathan Frakes didn't duck, he'd be dead. Like shoot dead.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good job here by Cliff Bowl, but what I really appreciated is, you know, Cliff can get pretty, you know, signature. He can get pretty, you know, out there and unique, and this one felt pretty subtle compared to a lot of his other episodes. Like, it was well directed, but there wasn't anything that I was like, whoa, you know, which I enjoy when we get the whoa, but it was nice to get, like, a more subtle one from him here, and one shot, like, just to end the hook, it like does Riker's like still laying in the bed, you know, and it like does this slow zoom in onto him where there was like motion to the zoom. Like, it wasn't just a camera, you know, pan zoom, or it was like up, you know, onto him, focusing on him. I like that kind of stuff, the more subtle stuff. So I thought he did a great job for sure.
Yeah, that subtle shot and the one that's like very subtle where I think it's the end where the minister, I'm just gonna call her the minister, she's on the ship like asking like, oh, you know, take me with you, you know, I've dreamed, and she has an earlier talk about I was in a planetarium with my mother or whoever, like looking at the stars, and then in her reflection on the ship is just her not silhouetted, but just her by herself.
Her reflection.
Yeah, in the black of space.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's nice. That's a good touch.
Maratha Yale, played by Carolyn Seymour. I thought she did a great job. Not anything that's like a standout, you know, best ever, but I really liked Chancellor Durkin.
Yes.
That was George Coe, it looks like. He was great, and like that is the type of leader the world needs. I mean, you know, he's forceful, like in the scene with Krolla. Yeah. The scene with Krolla, that's who Michael Ensign was, funny name, where he's like, I'm not afraid of them, and I'm also not afraid of you. You know, like, he stands up for himself. He's not a pushover, but he's understanding. He's not shoot first, ask questions later, you know, when he talks to Picard. And I love the moment where he's like, I like that. I like that you make mistakes like any man. It's like, yeah. It's like, there you go. So I really liked his character.
Yeah, I loved his line where it's like, yesterday I was... you know, every day at dinner, you know, they ask me how my day was, and I say, it was a good day, you know. Yesterday I was, you know, the leader of the universe. Today I'm a voice in the choir. But it was still a good day. I'm like, whew, I'm getting a little chills just saying that. That's a good line. And I like how he's like very open and accepting to the Enterprise coming down. And, you know, us knowing the Enterprise, I'm like, yeah, you can't trust these guys. But also in his mind, it's like, I don't know these goddamn people. So he's also like, hey, we're not going to release Riker. We still want to interrogate him. Like, the conditions were shitty because, you know, they had to, like, jolt him awake. But it's like, hey, you guys have infiltrated our planet. You know, I still want to talk to him. I would like to know, like, what Riker was doing. Was he just, like, walking down the street and this mob, like, slowly, like, engrossed him? Like, oh, shit, you know.
Yeah, that was interesting. Definitely, though, my favorite part of the episode is being able to avoid the trope, the writing trope of misunderstanding because of someone with ill intentions, and now you can't repair, you know, the situation. And you know, I get it, and I'm sure it happens in the real world in real situations, but just like it's such an easy like movie and TV writing trope of like, oh, one misunderstanding, it's all screwed now forever. So I love them being able to think that's what's going to happen here with Krolla and Riker and framing him, but then no, they figured it out and it was set to stun because he wouldn't know how to use the phaser. And it's like, that's perfect. And then he wakes up, where am I?
And also it adds, like, of course the phaser was set to stun. It's probably always set to stun, meaning like we never had any intentions to ever hurt you. And like also Beverly just being the like the crime analytics. Oh, the way it was angled, it was obviously held by his left hand, Krolla's left hand. So he shot himself. And I love him waking on the ship. Where am I?
Yeah, and he's like, my foolish friend.
Yeah, and that great shot with the Enterprise ceiling behind him. And I love the guy was willing to fucking die for it. Like, just willing to end his life to keep his old ways. Like,
oh yeah,
just willing to like, okay, if this is what I got to do.
Yeah, I of course rooted against that character, but you know, I had to give him credit that he was willing to go that far, even though he was wrong.
Or he knew. No, he didn't know.
He knew the whole time he was on stun and he wouldn't die.
He was hoping that they wouldn't wake him up I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's about all I got.
Well, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say real quick for the last thoughts for my grading. I didn't give it an S, and the only reason was just because, you know, it goes back to what you said a few episodes ago. I don't remember the exact one, but it's just like, if I have to think about it, you know, it's not, and you know, if I have to think about it, if it's an S, it's not, there's not necessarily any huge flaws that jump out to me. It's just that while I enjoy different types of episodes, this one was like, it's a very different type of episode, which I like, but it didn't like blow me away to the point of like, oh, this is one of my favorites. It was just like, I really appreciated it for what it was, and it did everything pretty well. What was it? There was a reason where I was leaning B. Oh, I was gonna lean towards B when I thought I knew where it was going with the whole misunderstanding thing, and I was gonna be kind of disappointed. But then for it to flip it on its head in the whole ending sequence, I'm like, okay, no, this is an A, which is, you know, quality-wise, I don't think it could have been done better.
Yeah,
just not a personal favorite.
Yeah, did you think it was going to end like Private Little War?
Not necessarily, because there wouldn't be any ongoing conflict. I thought it was just going to be like, no, this is ruined, like, leave. And then Picard be like, damn, like, we could have recruited them, but now it's ruined.
I love downer endings, but that would have brought it down for me. Yeah, I gave this an S. And usually S's mean they're good. No. S's for me are ones that emotionally deeply move me. And this one didn't do that, but there was no faults or anything where maybe go, yeah, I'm not sure about that, because I enjoyed like pretty much every aspect of this. I love episodes that usually do things I would not like or care for. Or flip things on its head. Like one, The Wall of Writers ends up being good. Barely any Beverly, Data, or Worf in this, and I still really enjoy it. So it takes things that normally would bring it down, but it didn't bring the episode down for me.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair.
So it was fighting an uphill battle, and it won, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's not anything about it that I disliked. I'm just in that camp where it's like, yeah, I really liked it. It just like didn't hit. It just like didn't hit me in that way of like, holy shit, next level. Kind of how I felt about Data's Day, where it was like, yeah, I didn't have any faults with Data's Day, but it was like, yeah, this is really good. And it's like getting so hard because so much of the show now is really good. It's like, this is all really good. You know, it's like, but I don't know, I feel like you just know when like something's special to you. Like a couple episodes ago, I was definitely in the minority with Devil's Due, you know, in the woman guest character, but it's like, I just knew watching it. I'm like, this is fucking awesome for me. You know?
It didn't like have all those things I just mentioned that would guarantee an S. Like it was like, just made it.
It just took what it wanted to do and executed it perfectly for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair. 51% of the patrons gave this an A. So they definitely really liked it. 20% S, 23% B. So most of the vote there in the higher grades. Let's see what they thought about it.
I want to see who gave it the 1% that gave it a D.
And I will just point out now, we're aware this is the halfway point of TNG, so if the take is just that, we're not going to read that one, but yeah, that's pretty awesome that we're halfway through.
This one's from The Lore. Really wish Marasta had become part of the regular cast. She had such an exuberance for planetary exploration, and with how close of an analog the Malkorians are to 20th century humans, she could have been very relatable to what it's like to be a long way from home with these advanced beings. Great character, missed opportunity. Spoiler, 1.
Spoiler!
2, something like this already happened with someone from the 20th century, from a little movie called Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
Yeah, she disappeared too.
Yeah, she wasn't a scientist either. She was a animal research scientist. Same thing.
Yeah, I would have liked to see her be a part of the regular cast, and I don't know, but we've shed some of the characters. Hopefully that means we get more focus and stuff in the characters we do have, which I think we have seen, and people like O'Brien getting more of a focus. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with going back to classic TOS days with two nobodies in the chairs. Didn't even get to see their faces.
Yeah,
did we?
True.
Just the back of their
heads.
Just
the back of their heads, yeah. This is from Alexander, one of my favorites of the whole franchise. I love their Chancellor. This morning I was the leader of the whole world, I think he says universe. This afternoon I am but one voice in a chorus. Great stuff. Yes, my fellow Trek fans, I probably didn't quote him word for word. It's the thought that counts. There you go. We fuck up every quote, too.
I fuck up every single quote I've ever said, ever.
But yeah, no, I love that character as well, so spot on. And of the whole franchise, there you go. That's something.
That's pretty good.
Here's one that's interesting. Prof Moff says, a good solid sci-fi episode. This doesn't stick out to me as like, wow, deep sci-fi. Like, as much as I enjoy triggering Star Trek fans with, getting bored by technobabble or whatever, like, that's all obviously in jest, and people that are self-aware understand that. But, I mean, I just feel like this is the stuff that I love. If this is sci-fi, cool, I love sci-fi. You know what I mean? It's like, it's aliens, it's political intrigue, it's, just the idea of space, and I don't talk about this a lot, but, like, the idea of space being the final frontier. Like, I love that idea, because it's like, we've explored all of Earth. I mean, not deep in the oceans, I guess, but, like, space is that final frontier of, like, exploring space. Like, I love all of that. It's just, like, I don't have to, hear a whole bunch of big words strung together in a sentence that doesn't sound like it means anything, because I don't have a master's degree, in order to enjoy sci-fi. Like, this is the stuff I loved. I mean, did you think of this as sci-fi?
Yeah, I think science fiction has a very wide range of what it is. It's not just Data and Geordi spouting off which way a ship trajected from the guy from the episode of Transfigurations. How many times am I going to reference that goddamn episode?
Maybe you do like it. It seems to have stuck with you.
I don't know. Was that the one where you went? Yeah,
the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, alien shipping the Enterprise coming down and infiltrating this planet. Yeah, of course it's science fiction. I think they're all science fiction, obviously. Just some are a little more science, but the second part of the word is fiction. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it definitely, obviously, the whole show is sci-fi because that's what it is. But this one in particular, it's like, I guess there are different things within sci-fi as a genre that, like, stick out to me, interest me more as to why I love Star Trek, but then, like, some of them aren't for me, and some people are the other way around. That's cool, too, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember all the shitty C-movie dinosaur movies I used to watch on the Sci-Fi Channel with my grandfather, and if that counts as sci-fi, then,
Sharknado, is that sci-fi? There's some science in there.
that probably aired on the Sci-Fi
Network.
Yeah. All right, this one's from Cullen Meany. By far, one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. Love that the show starts by dropping us right to the situation. In fact, when it first aired in 1991, it was preempted 10 minutes due to football, and I thought I missed the first 10 minutes. Such a fascinating episode that flips the script on what First Contact would really be like. Excellent guest cast all around. Of course, Bebe Beeb Nearworth steals her sing as the horny nurse who wants to bang Riker. The real star of this episode is Carolyn Seymour, who's insanely believable as a scientist who's wanted to go into space since she was a little girl. We saw her in Season 2 as the Romulan terrorist in Contagion. Oh. I love her range in the scene where Picard and Troy reveal themselves, followed by her immersed joy of seeing her world from the windows of 10 forward. Also note that the wine that Picard and Chancellor drink is from family. Picard indeed didn't drink it alone. Nothing short of S++ for me. I read all that because I love you, Colum, and you have a lot of likes on this comment. It's
mostly the reason.
Yeah, it's mostly the reason. Yeah, but we also care about you. But yeah, it makes sense that it was the same bottle. I mean, I kind of figured it was the same bottle. He literally says it, oh, my brother, So.
Yeah, but that's a cool throwback.
Yeah, it is,
Or callback, I guess is the right word, not throwback.
Do you think
it's a throwback because it's wine, so it's a throwback for them.
Don't spoil this for me, audience. But what if Robert is the main villain of Star Trek: First Contact, and it's not revealed?
First Contact with who?
First Contact with Robert. Takes off the helmet, reveals it's Robert.
I knew she looked familiar, so her being the Romulan in Contagion, now I see it.
I think any guest actor, I'm gonna recognize all of them from something.
Yeah, and Contagion, when we watched that, we were pretty different from the main consensus. There's a lot of people really love that episode, and we didn't really care for it. And but as time has gone on, and we've seen more, looking back on it, I feel the same. Okay,
to the point where I can't even remember what happens in that episode. So.
This one's from Wild Hunt, 1973. I always like to read ones with different opinions, and I think I found the one that voted D. I hated this episode. Still a D though, not E. I don't know why, but nothing about it worked for me. It's rare when I give an episode this low of a grade. No hate on anyone who liked or loved it, just wasn't for me. But still didn't even give it an E. Interesting. I'm going to look back at all the polls at the end of the season and see if any episodes got E votes from anybody.
P.S. I didn't vote on this poll. Because it doesn't deserve a vote.
But, interesting. They literally say, I don't know why, nothing about it worked for me. So there's nothing I can really, debate or go off of there. But I do find that interesting. Always love the different opinions. Because different opinions are good.
Unless it's disagreeing with me. All right, this one's from Philkin7. This is another S-tier episode, my guy. This presented in a totally different and unexpected way, and Frakes does a great job laying in a bed most of the time.
Good point.
It's good at that. And in a costume, too. Picard Provesto be a master diplomat again. Some cultures just aren't ready despite their technological advancement. +1 to Riker on Prof Moff's board. If you don't know, Prof Moff's doing a...
Yeah, I don't think we've ever acknowledged it.
We've never acknowledged it, but
I don't think.
We're doing it now.
He has a sex board, and it's cool.
He has a sex board, and it's cool. Even though his species has weird hands, they are apparently compatible sexually. Yeah, weird hands and a completely different internal organs.
Yeah, and Riker said, he's like, there are differences, but then she left the room looking pretty satisfied, so Riker figured it out.
Yeah, it wasn't too on the nose with a messy hair and putting on the shoes, but it was a little push on the glasses. I'm like, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And then she, gave the classic, oh, well, I see you again, looking. So the man gets the job done. What can you say?
2 years. Little Billiam is gonna...
Billiam?
Yeah. We got Dorf and Billiam.
I thought that might have even come into play later in the episode when they were starting to turn on them and everything. I thought it was going to come out that he had sex with her. Like, they're trying to, invade our bloodline,
He beep. The nurse.
He R-worded the nurse.
He R-worded the nurse. Oh my god. And he's just laying there, just on the deathbed. All right, this one's from Lieutenant Dan Ice Cream. His profile picture is ice cream, so I think he's what he's trying to say there. The nurse who wouldn't help unless Riker made love to her was a bit weird. Got to love 90s TV, but overall good episode. I love it. I mean, they snuck in 3 different versions of Riker. Laying down Riker from the season 2 finale, costume Riker that we've seen a million times before, and Riker getting laid. You got to do all 3 in one episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we can wrap it up with this one. Glenn Johnson Barnes, straight up one of my favorite TNG episodes. Not the best of the series, but definitely one of the most enjoyable. Over time, once we're at the end of the season doing our tier list again, and also our top episodes, like, this is one I could definitely see growing on with time. Like, even just this discussion we just had, like, you know, yeah, I like this one a lot. And we'll see how it all shakes out. That's why I love, you know, doing the initial tier list now, and then, you know, following up doing it again at the end of the season will be fun. But this is a good one. You know, I don't want to call it too early. We're only 15 episodes in. There's 11 more to go. That means, but like, this might be the best season of Star Trek ever up to this point. Like, and that's, you know, a big deal to me. But like, it could ruin it. It could fall off the tracks. Who knows? But it's been so consistently good.
Yeah, it is, and we surpassed time and episodes in TOS, which is just crazy, because like, we've been comparing like almost everything to it, because of course, why wouldn't we? In the films and the animated series that we've seen, but it's like it's weird to think this is longer and bigger, and like this is what most people think of when like we're getting there. You know, we're in the thick of it. Like, I just want to like enjoy this because it's gonna end someday.
Yeah, because we're here.
Because we're here.
This is it.
We've talked about this for years, for 3 years now. Oh, we're gonna hit the TNG, and it's like now we're here, and the best part of it. It's like, can we just like soak this in?
Yeah, I'm really trying to, and you know, excruciating 2 episodes a week pace is helps with that. But you know, as much as yes, I agree with you, but man, like, my excitement for post TNG, I don't want to say it was at zero, but like was relatively low before we started TNG. Like, TNG was what it was all about, and I'm still so excited for the rest of this. But like, the post TNG, you know, Deep Space Nine and Voyager and the TNG movies and everything, it's like that excitement has definitely gone way up, just based on what I've read from everybody in the audience and just seeing how big of fan bases those all have as well. Like, they have to also be good. So just the fact that I'm no longer just like, oh, I'm just gonna love TOS, or like, oh, I'm just gonna love TNG. It's like, hopefully we can just love the whole franchise, and maybe, you know, some more than others, but there's just so much of it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Like, we're in the midst of it, but I'm excited when things get allegedly bad, and like talking about that. And I wonder if like we're gonna flip the script on them and think it's all great. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it, but I haven't seen any of it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
But
neither have I. But Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's it. We had a discussion with with Deep Space Nine. Oh, that's great.
Another TNG episode, now in the books. Did TA hate it, or did they get hooked? Will they ever get it? We may never know. TNG season 4, let's go! Warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, let's go! Talking over dialogue, laughing at odd times. You may get bothered, but TA feels sublime. They tear into your favorites, they love ones you hate. Yet you can't get enough of the reactions they make. They pop for big moments and make clever jabs. One half of the scene they will always yap. They've been at this for years with many more to come. Join this journey, set your phaser to stun. Warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, let's go, warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, let's go.
I'll get it. Keep it rolling.
No. What do you mean, no?
What the hell? Oh, wait, no. Where are they?
They should be in the same spot.
Behind the cupboard here?
Yeah, turn on the light.
Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I didn't realize they were in the cupboard. I thought they were like behind it. Stupid.